This month we thought it'd be good to show you the process we go through to wax oil the Nissan Figaros. It's a really good process to go through for the car and really helps preserve the bodywork underneath the car especially, and to make the car last. A big problem with Figaros is the amount that they rust. So you can see here we use two types of wax oil or cavity sealer spraying devices to prepare the car with. The first one that you can see here sprays on a stone chip, a stone guard, which is like a rubbery coating that protects the car from stone chips, and also seals it as well. So we use this one for the flat areas. Then the second gun you can see here, we use a slightly thinner, more runny type of clear wax normally in here, and this goes inside the box sections in the car, and the thin runny wax will run right the way through. It's got two different fittings. One it just feeds in through a hole, and the other one is for getting into awkward spaces. So once we've given the car a really good clean off, we get the car on the ramp, we take the wheels off and mask up the main areas so the car doesn't get contaminated with the wax oil, but we do give it a chemical clean as well at the end to make sure that it's really clean. You can see here that any of the bits that are slightly corroded, like you can see with this shock absorber, we clean off either with a drill or by hand and literally get it back to the bare metal, get any type of debris or any type of beginnings of corrosion and get those out of the way, giving it a clean up. Then we recoat. For this area we'd be using the Schultz or stone chip. So you can see the shock absorber, this is the process that it would go through to recoat it. We'd leave it for a few hours to dry off, and then this will last for many years. It will be, the adhesion rate will be good, and it's also waterproof. You can see in this next shot the most common area on the Figaros we find is the sills, so it's a perfect example of where it starts here on one of the jacking points. So you can see here that we give it a really good clean off by hand all the way along the sill, especially as you can see on this car it's just starting to go a bit orangey here, so in a couple of years this would probably be an MOT failure, but the wax oil will have definitely stopped that. Once it's all cleaned up, then we coat it, and here you can see we're just coating it with the stone chip nice and thick, and that will really protect it. We go over the whole car and cover absolutely everything. This next area that I'm showing you is another really common point on the Figaros for MOT failure. It's the brake and fuel lines, and they are often corroded. So we've done exactly the same here. These have all been cleaned up with a wire brush or with a wire wheel on a drill and then recoated. This will last for many years and save hundreds of pounds in MOT bills. We also do inside all the bumpers. These are new bumpers, so it's the perfect time to do them. So you can see just about in this shot us recoating the inside of the bumper, which will make it last a lot longer because there's not a very good protective coating on them as standard. Now we move on to where we use the actual cavity gun. So this is the most important bit that you don't get with a lot of wax oils. You can see here that we feed this probe right the way down into the sill. So we'll go through probably 20 of the holes in the car over this process, but this is just to show you one so you can see how it works. And then as we're pulling out the pipe here, it's spraying the cavity wax all the way through the sill and filling it up, and we've also thinned it down to a point so that it will be runny and it will run into all the gaps. It really will prevent the rust. We'll go through the boot as well because the wheel arches are really prone. So you can see here we're feeding the same probe in through the wheel arches, and we'll saturate those with wax too. And then in this final shot you can see the finished car underneath, You can see the brake lines. Obviously the areas like the exhaust that have been masked up to prevent them getting covered in Waxoyl still look as they did originally, but all the rest of the car looks shiny and black where it's coated, and this will make it last.